Hi all, it's Teresa in Gemma's house. I recently acquired this beautiful little painting from my neighbor who passed recently. And her family has been putting some of her small items from her house out on the driveway with a sign free for the neighbors to take if we like. And I have taken a few things, including this beautiful little painting, and I think they'll be nice to remember her. But I'm going to change it, not the painting of course, but the frame. Okay, so I love this little bird and flower painting. It looks like oil painting on just like a wood panel. And the frame, it's an older one. This is an older piece. The frame looks like it's wood. I don't know how they apply these little embellishments. I don't know if they're plastic and they're just glued on or what. But I want to make the frame look a little less 1970s style. So what my plan is I'm going to keep this nice linen insert, but I want to paint the outer frame darker. So what I'm going to do is I'll just wipe it down lightly with a damp sponge just to get the dust off of it. And I'll let that dry. And what my plan is, I'll paint it first with this brown. These are just inexpensive acrylic paints. They're like $2 or $3 a bottle. I have a lot of them. Then I'm going to water down some of the black acrylic paint and try to let it settle into the grooves of these embellishments, just to give it some depth. And then I'm just going to smear this copper paint as highlights over top of these embellishments. So it will pick up colors in the painting. So I think that will be very nice. And I'm just going to use some wax paper as my paint palette. I have some little pieces of cardboard that I'm going to try to slip under the frame so that I can paint this edge here without getting any paint on the linen. Okay, so first I'm going to paint the top part of the frame and let that dry, and then I'll get this inner edge where I have to put the cardboard to protect the linen insert. I'll get this painted first. Okay, so it's the first coat of the brown, and I'm going to let this dry and put a second coat on it. And I think it looks better already. The brown paint on the frame picks up on some colors in the painting, which I wanted it to do. Okay, so the second coat of the brown is dry and it's looking good. I jammed these pieces of cardboard underneath the frame. Some parts were a little tight and I had to use a tool to try to lift up on the frame a little bit gently so I could get all of the pieces of cardboard underneath there securely. I'm still using this very small, flat, stiff bristle artist brush. And I'm just putting thin coats of paint on this. And I'll put 2 coats on. Okay, so while this last part is drying, I'm going to try now to put the black paint on these embellishments. And what I did is I added about 12 to 15 drops of water in a little bit of the black paint. I just want the black paint to go down around the edges of the embellishments just to make them stand out a little, give them some depth. So I'm just experimenting here, basically. Let's see how this goes. Okay, that's nice. Oh, I like that. Yeah, that's nice. I always do these crafts just kind of like winging it to see what I get, to see what effects I get. So I'm always changing it as I work. But so far this is looking nice. It's also giving a striated effect to the rest of the frame, making it look a little more like wood grain. Okay, I like it. Boy, it sure did make it look old-fashioned, like an antique frame. Okay, so now I'm going to try to get a little bit along this ridge. And I'm really running out of paint. So that's good because I don't want a lot of paint on the brush. I just am kind of dry brushing parts of it because I don't want the black paint to run underneath this cardboard. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for this to dry real well, take these cardboard pieces out, and hopefully no paint got under there. And then I'm going to decide if I like the color of this frame with the painting or if I want to add some copper highlights. I'll decide at that point. Okay, so even though I like the frame just like this, it does minimize the frame more and creates a nice dark border for the beautiful gold surrounding the painting. So I think it's nice like this, but I do want to see what it looks like with just a touch of the copper highlights on these embellishments. Just a touch. It will pick up on the orange colors in the painting. And let's just smear the copper onto these raised parts, just a tiny bit. And of course you could do this with other colors too. You could even do this with the black paint just to get little dabs of the black paint on top of the raised parts if that's what effect you want. Oh, this is looking really nice. Okay, what do you think? Just a tiny bit. What do you think of the copper highlights, and then this is gold. Does that bother you? I'm not sure. I wonder if I could add a little bit of the copper to that gold insert. Okay, so just to satisfy the little bit of OCD-ness I have in my personality as an artist, I'm going to add a touch of this copper paint to the top of the gold insert on the frame. I'm using a tiny artist brush. It's pretty small. It has soft bristles, and I'm just adding a small amount of the paint on the top just to tone down the gold with the copper color. And I'm trying hard not to get it on the linen, of course. Okay, I like that. Using a very small paintbrush, I painted 2 thin coats of the copper on just the top edge of that gold frame, and I think it was enough to tone it down a little and tie that gold frame in with the copper highlights on the outer part of the frame. So for the last step, I'm going to put a thin coat of this gloss varnish on the outer frame. Okay, I varnished it and I am happy with it. Let me know in the comments if you would have changed anything different from the way I did it. What would you have done? So I hope you got some good ideas to revitalize some frames of yours. And if you like this video, can I ask you to please give it a thumbs up? That helps my YouTube channel to grow. So until next week, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.